Fly, Eagles, fly. Just don't fly whenever you're facing the Seahawks or the Texans. But man, what that game, like, I keep looking at this score 23-55. It didn't feel like it. That should not have happened. I'm not saying the Eagles should not have won the game. 23-55. This reminds me of like those moments when I'm playing Madden and I'm competing. I'm with the computer. It's a very competitive game. And then somehow I lose about 4 or 5 touchdowns, and I'm like, what? No, that just got out of hand, and it just got out of hand for the Commanders. They was in it. They was in it, and I'm like, okay, this could be an upset special, but they came back down. They came down to earth. When you think about it, like they defeated the number one Lions, man. This was supposed to have been the Lions versus the Eagles, okay? The Lions were out of it. The Commanders took them out. They took them out. It's almost like, it's one of those things. Just because you take out the big dog, that doesn't mean you're the next one in line. I repeat, just because you take out the big dog, that doesn't mean you're the next one in line. Think about the show The Wire. That's what this reminds me of. It's gonna be a spoiler alert for y'all, but as a spoiler, you should still check the show out. Okay. It reminds me of two HBO shows. Okay, so what was his name? So there's a character in The Wire called named Omar. Omar is like the big bad wolf to drug dealers, man. He doesn't mess with citizens. He robs the drug dealers. And the drug dealers and all of them, the so-called gangsters, they're scared of him because you never know where he gonna be. He can pop up anywhere. This dude is like he's him. All these people, so-called gangsters, they putting out hits on him, trying to get him. They couldn't get him. But the person who got him was a little kid. That's because he never saw a kid as a threat. He never saw him coming. Got him at the corner store while he buying a pack of smokes. Never saw it coming. So after Omar was gone, you had a young buck named Michael who's becoming a rising star. And he ends up taking his place, filling that void of somebody that's robbing the drug dealers, not messing with citizens. So, but Michael wasn't the one who took out Omar. It was a little kid. That little kid wasn't next in line because, matter of fact, that little kid, Michael beat the crap out of him in previous episodes. But that little kid was just there to take out Omar. And he was about the only one who could get that close to him without him detecting that him being a threat. Same thing happened Game of Thrones. I know I'm dropping spoilers all over the place, but y'all better check these shows out still. All right. It's supposed to have been Jon Snow who's supposed to have been taking out the Night King. But they didn't give us that. It built up to that, just like it built up to the Eagles and the Lions. Eventually, we was going to see those two. But his little sister, his baby sister, Arya Stark, ends up taking out the Night King. The Night King didn't see her as that big of a threat. He didn't see her coming. Arya Stark, Washington Commanders. The Lions didn't see the Commanders coming. and the Commanders took the Lions out. And Arya Stark, after she took out the Night King, that didn't mean she was the next in royalty to rule anything. Her brother still was the king of the North. He was still the ruler, even though he didn't take out the dude that was running stuff. So the Commanders, great season. You took out the Lions, but it wasn't meant for you to be the king of the jungle this year. Now we'll see what you do next year. Dan Quinn is an awesome coach. Love Bobby Wagner. Jalen Daniels is special. That kid is special. I just hope that he doesn't do what my quarterback CJ Stroud was doing, where he was just going on this magnificent podcast tour as if he won the Super Bowl. And it's like, I felt like he got a bit cocky. I don't think he's going to do that this year. I'm not saying don't go on any podcast, but it was just too many. Like, we won this. I'm like, did we win the Super Bowl? Like, he's everywhere, and he's talking as if he's a 12-year veteran. You just finished your first year. So Jayden Daniels, hopefully he has a phenomenal offseason. And hopefully he doesn't go through as many struggles as CJ Stroud did in year 2, unless he's playing against the Seahawks or the Texans, of course. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles. I love how this team is built. I loved how it is built. You know, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if the league wants the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl. You know what that's going to mean? Like, because they're doing it old. I love the way this team is built. They have receivers, but they still run the football. I love the type of running back Saquon Barkley is. That's the type, like when I'm on Madden, that's the type of teams. That's how I built my team. You know, I don't think Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback. I think he's a top 10 quarterback. But yeah, they be like, oh, he don't have a lot of yards and all that. He has a lot of meaningful yards. And when you're having a lot of meaningful yards and you're winning, there's no need for you to throw for 400 yards a game. Most of the time when people throwing 400 yards a game, that's because they're playing from behind. They're not playing from behind a lot. And he's also protecting his defense. And you have Saquon freaking Barkley right there. You look at Saquon Barkley, you see how big this dude legs is and see how you run the football, and you tell me, are you going to still keep passing the doggone ball? You better hand him that ball. What are you talking about? All right? Seahawks, that's how my Seahawks won Super Bowl. Russ, you game managed. No shame in that. Joe Montana was a glorified game manager. Tom Brady is a glorified game manager. And hand that ball to beast mode. And you protect your defense, and your defense go out there, you dominate, you protect your offense. I like Jalen Carter. That dude there, man. I wanted one of my 2 teams to draft him. That I was like, man, that the Eagles that year, they draft like 3 players out of Georgia. It's going to be very difficult for Patrick Mahomes to win this 3rd Super Bowl in a row. He may be running for his life in that Super Bowl. You know, this Super Bowl, it could be a situation where it's like with the Giants, when they took care of Tom Brady those 2 times. Get that pressure up front, your front 4. Tell you that Jalen Carter is something, man. That Jalen Carter is something. But I'm happy for Saquon. But it was a point I was supposed to have been making. Yeah, as far as what Saquon Barkley is doing. If Saquon Barkley gets the get a Super Bowl and gets the MVP, I think that's like the first time since Terrell Davis that a running back has become the MVP. But if you're Jalen Hurts, you don't. I hope this doesn't happen with the Eagles. Because, see, they had a chance to beat the Chiefs a couple years ago when they played in the Super Bowl. That Jalen Hurts fumble killed their momentum. It didn't cost them the whole game, but you can make mistakes, but that is one thing to fumble, but then for that to turn into a touchdown, yeah, that's deflating. Because when your defense stops Patrick Mahomes from scoring on drives, you cannot afford to allow that defense to score. And Patrick Mahomes. Well, let me see. That game, I remember people kept, it was like, well, can Jalen Hurts keep up with Patrick Mahomes and a high flying offense? And Mahomes wasn't even trying to play out high flying. He was playing the opponent. He's just trying to win, not trying to kick your ass, trying to win, not trying to blow you out, just trying to win. You have Saquon Barkley. You better use him. Don't make the mistake that the 49ers made last year. It's like you got Christian McCaffrey at running back, but the media, well, you got people trying to act like it's some type of Brock Purdy versus Patrick Mahomes, and it wasn't. Niners don't even want to play Brock Purdy like that. And y'all had the nerve, y'all had the mitigated gall to try to make it seem like, it's can Brock Purdy put up as much next numbers and stats as Patrick Mahomes? Man, Mahomes trying to win. He don't care about them stats. That's why Brock Purdy had like 45 pass attempts. Christian McCaffrey ran the ball like 18 times or 20. Should have had. It's Christian McCaffrey. He should have had 30 carries. Should have had 10, 12 catches. They don't want a running back to win the NFL MVP, Super Bowl MVP. You know what happens if they do that? Then you have to start playing running backs. They're bringing running backs back. I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah. You mother don't know how to act. Take it to the chorus. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Because that's not the plan. That's not what they want. They don't want running backs to be like how it used to be. It ain't how it used to be before, Rick. Yeah, I watch Walking Dead. I know. But Eagles, hey man, you got Saquon Barkley, and he's healthy. I mean, if needed, you give him 40, give him 50 carries. Let him take on that load. Let him have it. That's what I want to see. I mean, I want to see Jalen Hurts shine, but I mean, you shine better. Get that Super Bowl ring. That shines brighter than any stats. Because this is not about you versus Mahomes. It's not. It's not 1-on-1. Y'all not guarding each other. But I know Eagles fans, and they love their Eagles. They're very passionate. I respect it. I respect the hell out of it. I know they was probably hoping the Bills would win because they probably like, well, that's a guaranteed victory in the Super Bowl because NFC East tends to always defeat the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. But they probably want the Chiefs back to get a payback and going against Andy Reid again, man. It's one of, sometimes I'm 42 years old and I remember, hey, for a long, long time, it's like, man, the Eagles quarterback, it felt like 20 years in a row, Andy Reid. They went to the NFC Championship game like 4 or 5 times in a row. Yeah. And now, sometimes, despite me being aware, highly aware that Andy Reid coached the Eagles that all those years, sometimes I forget that he even coached them because I'm like, I only think about him with the Chiefs. It sucks he never won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. I almost did, but you know. But this he already defeated his old team once. It's like, dang, he couldn't even win a Super Bowl for Philly. Now he has the potential to prevent Philly from getting 2 Super Bowls. And those 2 Super Bowls are going to him. Man, that's a hell of a storyline, people. And I don't think that's made up. That's just how the rated cards were laid out. But shout out to the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Like I say, once again, just don't fly against the Seahawks and Texans. But you can fly against everybody else. But this is going to be something. This is going to be something, and I'm looking forward to this matchup, and I'm going to be talking about this in the upcoming days, all right? But anyways, hey, thank y'all for rocking with me. I know it's late. Get y'all some rest because I'm about to get me some rest. And hey, you remember, you like movies, you like sports, that means you like me. So please hit that like and subscribe button. Student of the Game Podcast. Peace out.